Sorry. Good afternoon. Welcome to Laredo Independent School District Board of Trustees regular board meeting. It's Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019. It's 5:30 in the Amber Yeary boardroom, 1620 Houston. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hector J. Garcia.
I am present.
Mr. Hector J. Noyola.
Here.
Mr. Ricardo Garza is here. Mr. Jose A. Valdez.
Present.
Mrs. Claudia V. Bally. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
Present.
And Mrs. Monica Garcia.
Present.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Rios, and members of our audience. Tonight, the LISD Board of Trustees salutes LISD Police Officer Enrique Marx III, who served his country in the United States Marine Corps for 15 years. Here's a video of Officer Marx created by the Instructional Television Department. Lights, please.
Tonight, the Laredo Independent School District would like to salute one of our own. LISD Police Officer Enrique Marx served in the military for 15 years, 12 of those years as part of the United States Marine Corps. He tells us how the Marine Corps helps people.
The Marine Corps brings out leadership skills in people. It helps them refine the skills that they have, bring them out to polish them, I guess. And that's what for me, that's what it did. I was kind of shy in high school, but after I got out of boot camp, my whole attitude was different.
He volunteered his service to the military. Officer Marx shares with us why he thinks it is important to serve in the military.
I think it's important to serve in the military to give back to your country. I know right now, the war is going on, they're still fighting, and I have children that are of age to go, and I recommend for them to go. I tell them, if you want to go, go. I don't push them to go, but I say go. It builds a lot of character. It gives you a lot of confidence. And when you get out with the ability to do things that you didn't think you can do.
Something Officer Marx has been able to do since his military service ended is to have a long career in law enforcement.
In Brownsville, I worked narcotics, so I have long hair. Long hair. A lot of it is because of the military. You can do a lot of things. It gives you the confidence. Solved a murder, 1,000 pounds of marijuana, 2,000 pounds of coke. We did a lot when I was in narcotics. But a lot of it comes from having the confidence of coming out of the training like that you can do things. Nobody can tell you, nah, you can't do it. No, you can do it. You put your mind to it, you can. In the Marine Corps, they really stress it in you that you can.
He has spent the last 7 years of his law enforcement career with Laredo ISD. He tells us how he feels working for Laredo ISD.
Well, I feel great. It makes me feel real good inside. It's totally different from working in the streets. In the streets, we do whatever we do. Burglary call, theft call. But in the school district, you're more one-on-one with the students and the teachers and trying to help them out. I would do anything for people, help people out.
And one of the ways that Officer Marx helps people out is by being a part of the Marine Corps League, where he has been the commandant for the last 3 years.
I just became the coordinator for Toys for Tots for the Marine Corps for the city of Laredo. So, we still continue with everything we can to give back to the community. And this past year, we got with the school districts to give toys for kids. It's a service that it's very, very enriching and fulfilling. And once Marine, always Marine.
Thank you, Officer Marx. LISD salutes you for your military service and for being a role model to the students of LISD.
Officer Marks, Laredo ISD thanks you for serving our country so valiantly and for keeping our schools safe and for advocating for local veterans. Now, would you please do us the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody, please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Officer Marks. I ask that you please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be performed by Martin High School senior and band assistant drum major Marjorie Sandoval on the alto saxophone under the direction of Mr. Bobby Castro. Thank you to Martin High School student Marjorie Sandoval and her sponsor, Mr. Bobby Castro. Officer Marks, at this time, will you please join us up front for a special presentation by the LISD Board? We would also like to welcome your wife, Ms. Maribel Marks, and your son, Enrique Marks IV. While our board members are gathering, I'll read this plaque, which we had engraved. It says, the LISD Board of Trustees recognizes Mr. Enrique Marks III for his patriotic ideals, selfless sacrifice, service to this country and the United States Marine Corps for 15 years, and for advocating for local veterans, presented today, July the 23rd, 2019.
Thank you very much for serving our country, serving our community, being a leader in our community, being an inspiration to our youth. On behalf of the 24,000 students, our faculty, principals, staff, thank you. God bless you and your family for being part of our family. Thank you.
Also joining us is our police chief, Roberto Villarreal, and let me see, Officer
Marquez. Officer Marquez.
Officer Marquez, okay.
I want to say thank you. I feel very honored to receive this recognition. Being a Marine, we're out there, when we're active duty. And then, of course, those of us who still have the itch, we stay and we volunteer and go into the reserve unit and continue to help out our country. And afterwards, sometimes the uniform doesn't come off, even though we don't wear the uniform that we used to wear. We put on another one, and like our new commandant that's back there, we continue to help out the community, and we will continue to help out the community here in Laredo, especially the children. For last year with Toys for Tots, I want to thank all of the high schools, all of the middle schools, and all the elementary schools that participated, and especially the ROTC units that really helped us out. I thank you. And this year we hope to do much bigger job. Thank you very much. And well, God bless everybody and God bless USA.
We also would like to welcome the Marines commander here, Mr. Guadalupe Alvarez, and I think Antulio Lopez also joined us up front. Antulio Garza. Thank you.
One, two, three.
Thank you, Officer Marks. May I continue with special observances? Yes? Okay. Under special observances, we have, today we remember Rolando Francisco Gaona, who passed away on June the 12th. Mr. Gaona was an educator at Cigarroa High School, where he taught marketing and was a Distributive Education Club of America teacher. He retired from Cigarroa High School in 2004 with 21 years of service. Maria Veronica Villarreal died on June the 22nd. She was an educator at Farias, Tobalina, and Zachary Elementary Schools. She worked with LISD for 36 years. Mr. Jose Gonzalo Cardenas passed away July the 5th. He was a vocational teacher at Martin High School, and he also worked at Cigarroa High School and served with LISD for 20 years. Hortensia O. Santos passed away July the 6th. She worked as a chief clerk at the purchasing department at the main office and was later promoted to purchasing director. She retired from the main office in 1996 with 32 years of service. Irma Valle Ancira passed away July the 11th. She worked as a bookkeeper and payroll clerk in the main office. She retired in 1998 with 32 years of service. May we please have a moment of silence in their memory. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Gaona, Villarreal, Cardenas, Santos, and Ancira families. Thank you. May I continue with board recognitions? Tonight, LISD is pleased to recognize the Fixed Assets, Custodial Services, Records, and Textbooks Department, the Child Nutrition Department, the Accounts Payable Department, some musically talented students, several hardworking students who participated and completed their summer internships, and a beloved former board member. We begin by taking a moment to recognize the Fixed Assets, Custodial Services, Records, and Textbooks Department. The staff at the Fixed Assets Department provides accountability and up-to-date information concerning the fixed assets of the district in an efficient and productive manner. Our staff at the Records Department works hard to identify, collect, preserve, maintain, and make records readily available to those who need them. The Custodial Services Department continuously provides a safe, clean, and comfortable learning and working environment for students and staff, while the Textbook Department provides each teacher and student with the necessary state-adopted books to teach and learn. Here, representing the departments, we ask our Assistant Superintendent for Plant Facilities and Support Service, Mr. Angel Velasquez, to join us up forward. We also have Mr. Feliciano Garcia, Director of Fixed Assets, Mr. Rene Perales with Records and Textbooks, and we have Head Custodian Beatriz Santillan, Salomón Gómez, Roberto Mendoza, Raúl Sánchez, María Ángeles Mendoza, and Dominga Domínguez. It's a big department because it's a big job. Really big job. Thank you for all you do. LISD is proud of our child nutrition department for their recent national award and for their efforts in leading the district's summer feeding program. The CNP is one of 15 school districts in the country to receive the 2018-19 Turn Up the Beat Award, the Gold Award, by the USDA. The award is given to programs that serve high-quality meals that are both wholesome, nutritious, and tasty. Winners are selected for going above and beyond in ensuring that meals are also appetizing. The Child Nutrition Program leads the nation in many innovative ways to engage students in healthy eating and also incorporates many opportunities to provide nutritious meals for the 24,000 students they serve daily. I would like to call forward the Director of the Child Nutrition Program, Mr. Robert Cuellar. And might I add that this summer, our CNP fed 40,495 breakfasts, 64,456 lunches, and 10,375 snacks for our students this summer at schools all over the city, and even at the Boys and Girls Club. As Mr. Cuellar is so fond of saying, hunger takes no vacation. They're opened all summer. Thank you. And now we would like to recognize our dedicated accounts payable department. The LISD accounts payable department's main objective is to process vendor payments for goods and services provided to the district. The department works diligently with vendors, campuses, and departments to assure that payments are accurately and timely processed. Representing the accounts payable department are their accounts payable supervisor, Ray Reyes, account payable technicians, Alicia Canales, Alma Gutierrez, Mary Jo Moore, Nancy Frausto, Sandra Salazar, and our Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Business Services, Ms. Flor Ayala. Mil gracias. Next, we are recognizing our high school band members who performed and received first place medals at the state solo and ensemble contest. Receiving first place honors from Cigarroa High School under the direction of Mr. Servando Serna and Mr. Tomás Aguilar, we have Esther Dominguez, Evangelina Garza, Elizabeth Munoz, and Natalie Palmores with the clarinet quartet. And here with the quartet is their band director, Mr. Servando Serna, their principal, Mr. Jose Isnaola. Oh, go Toros. Mr. Isnaola, the principal at Cigarroa High School, and our fine arts director, David Garza. and our Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, Ms. Maggie Martinez. There.
I don't know, we're going to combine wind and strings, orchestra and band, or is it just band?
Oh, no, I've got some more students left to go. Haven't finished yet. There's a lot of kids from Cigarroa. Lots of kids. Tonight, we're also honoring Cigarroa students Mauricio Garcia, Osiel Rosales, Alexander Mendez, and Cristobal Mendez with the brass quartet. Also, Joshua Ramos, who is a piano soloist, Juan Capetillo, who is a cello soloist, and Joe Anthony Flores. And I have to tell you a little bit of this violinist from Cigarroa, Joe Anthony Flores. He was one of 25,000 musicians who performed in Austin. Only 2 to 3% of the solo performances earned the distinguished honor of being recognized as an outstanding performer. That's Joe Anthony Flores. Also joining us up here, we have Antonio Velarde, Ruben Montoya, and Juan Capetillo with the string quartet. And also joining us from Cigarroa High School, Billy Bravo and Jose Cortez, miscellaneous. The rest from Cigarroa. Yeah. And Jose Cortez with the string ensemble, and Albert Gonzalez and Kimberly Martinez, miscellaneous string ensemble. Also joining us is Dr. Mary Grace Carroll, who is one of their teachers at the Trevino Magnet School. We'll see. Let's see who's next. Morgan High. Congratulations, todos. And now we move on to our students from Nixon High School who got first. Okay, now we move on. Martin High School is next. Receiving first place honors for Martin High School, we have Miguel Garcia on the tuba, and here with Miguel is his band director, Mr. Bobby Castro, and their principal, Mr. Guillermo Pro. We also have Miss Allison Agüero, Damian de la Cruz, Miguel Garcia, Claudia Gutierrez, and Maria Rodriguez with the 5 brass. Also with the 5 brass, we have Enrique Alcorta, Diego de la Cruz, Kevin Martinez, Christian Mendoza, and Gladys Reyes. And I'd like to invite Carlos Vega, snare drum solo, and Catherine Trejo, keyboard percussion soloist. And one more. I saved the best for last. And our last student to join us up here is Arturo Cisneros, keyboard percussion soloist. And might I add about Arturo Cisneros, he also earned the distinguished honor of being recognized as an outstanding performer at the Texas State Solo Ensemble Keyboard Percussion. Arturo was among the top 3% of all the students receiving this honor, and their band director, Mr. Bobby Castro. I don't think we've ever had this many kids getting honors like this at the UIL Ensemble. And now we'll introduce the first place honors from Nixon High School. We have Ivan Ventura with the snare drum solo. And here with Ivan is his band director, Mr. Juan Gerardo Sosa. Also joining them up front is Joseph Rodriguez, keyboard percussion soloist, Trisha Dampong, vocal soloist, Paulina de Leon and Paulina de Leon, vocal soloist from J.W. Nixon High School. And representing the principal's office is Ms. Doranet Maureen. Well, I guess Mr. Sosa left. Go Mustangs! This summer we had some career and technical education students who were busy working side by side with staff members from various departments as part of our summer student internship program. During the summer, the interns had the opportunity to get hands-on experience and learned how many of our departments work. At this time, we have a short video which we would like to show you about our student intern summer program.
I've been participating in the internship program. I've been assigned to the finance department. I've been working with some accountants here. I'm setting up the budget for the next fiscal year. The LASD employees, they're great. They help me a lot. I really enjoy being here around them because they're amazing. They help me a lot.
I've been assigned to McDonald Elementary at the library services. Ms. Hodges and the rest of the LISD employees here at McDonald Elementary have treated me with respect, and they treat me with care.
I've worked at Aeropostale in a retail store as a sales associate, and today here is really different because I have to interact more with people and serve food for children.
It helped us both understand the process of us getting the food or all the work they do for it, and that it's not an easy job. It may seem easy, but it's really not. The people, they're super nice too. They help us a lot.
This is my first job, and I'm actually liking it. Everybody is really nice, and they get along with each other.
La verdad es que todos son muy buena onda, todos son muy respetuosos, mucho apoyo entre todos. Es de que pues todos me han dado la mano mucho, la verdad. Todos de que si yo tengo una pregunta, ellos pues me ayudan. Si yo tengo dudas, pues ellos están siempre detrás de mi verdad. Y la verdad, esta experiencia de la vida que yo he tenido es muy bonita. Nunca la voy a olvidar.
I've been helping out in Office of Communications, and I've been using the camera and taking pictures of other interns. And this is what I want to do when I get older. Like, this is the field I want to go in. So it just worked in my favor to get in. It's been really fun, and it's nice telling everyone that I work at LISD.
And finally, we have come to a bittersweet ending for today's board recognitions. Today, we say farewell to a beloved board member, Dr. Cecilia May Moreno. After dedicating practically her entire life and career to LISD as a teacher, principal, and administrator, and then serving on the LISD board for 10 years, Dr. Moreno is leaving to dedicate more time to her family. Before we say goodbye, we have a video tribute in honor of Dr. Moreno.
In the name and by authority of the state of Texas, this is to certify that at a general election held on November 2nd, 2010, Dr. Cecilia May Moreno was duly elected school board trustee for District Number 5.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the voters from District 5 and all those from outside of District 5 that continually communicated to me support for this position. The support comes with a lot of responsibility, and I acknowledge that. It is a critical time because LISD voters have indicated they want change. They want the board to bring back the pride, and they want the board to keep the future of the children in mind and place the children and the employees first. It is a very important undertaking and one which I take very serious. I started my career as a girls' physical education teacher with Mrs. Kramer as my mentor and supervisor. I had just graduated from college, excited and ready to implement all the wonderful, innovative ideas that Texas Women's University had taught me.
Dr. Moreno, we would like to thank you for all that you have done for the students and the employees of LISD. You have been instrumental in shaping the vision of our district, and we will be forever grateful. On behalf of the students and staff at J.W. Nixon High School, we wish you the best. Please accept this small token of appreciation and never forget that you began your teaching career as a Mustang, and you will be forever green and gold.
To honor a very, very special person who is a colleague to every single board member here who has been at our different schools, who when she stands up for you. And she has stood up for you in every single capacity, as a teacher, as a principal, as a trustee, and as a mentor. She has been a mentor and a leader not only to her colleagues, but also to me as superintendent of schools and also as an administrator. The one thing I can tell you about Dr. Cecilia Moreno is that she never gives up and she never believes that it can't be done.
Dr. Moreno, all of LISD joins me in thanking you for your outstanding service to our school district and community. We will miss you and we hope you come back often.
You want to say anything? I know you don't have the script.
That's right. They told me I didn't
You want to
have
talk
to.
without the script, but, yeah.
Just say thank you very much. Boy, that video is really beautiful, very much. And not something I expected. I really am going to appreciate that. So I want to thank my family. Part of them could be here. We're too many to have everybody ever come together. But thank them for joining me. And of course, the board, I really enjoyed working with everybody. It was a sad time, still a sad time. But everybody's doing wonderful, and we're going to have the students continue to rise in their performance, and everything's going to be beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
And before we take a picture, Dr. Moreno, I just want to say thank you very much. You have been a mentor to all of us. I still talk to you once or twice a week to talk to you on different issues, but thank you very much for always guiding me the right way and always sitting down and listening and coming out with a solution to what we need to do that benefits not only our students, but our administration and teachers. Thank you. God bless you.
And that concludes our tonight's board's recognitions. And thank you. That concludes tonight.
Miranda and White. They always talk about salary. That's all they talk about.
Yeah, I'm gonna move some stuff. Go ahead.
We got public forum. Mr. Rene de la Viña, you know the rules.
Thank you. Okay. For the record, Rene de la Viña, Laredo United TSTA full-time president.
Rene, hold on. Let
everybody. Okay.
Yeah, let's wait.
All right.
Time out. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, honorable school board members. Dr. Rios, good evening. On behalf of TSTA, I'm very proud to tell you that we donated some uniforms for 135 students. So you distribute them whatever way you feel you need to do that. And as you see, TSTA doesn't just protect our members. We also give to children. In case you didn't know either, every year we give over $5,000 to all the public high schools scholarships to the students. So we do that every year, and we also plan to do this every year. And having said that, we also donated recently, I gave it to Mr. Scott Roberts, he's got the check. We donated some money for Catherine Tarver for their playground. And just to let you know that we're not about just, again, protecting our members. We're also about giving back to children. So we do give scholarships, both at United ISD, at all the high schools, and all the Laredo ISD high schools for the seniors, the ones that are graduating. Having said that, I just want to also mention that it was Miss Miranda de la Garza and her husband, who's a teacher at Nixon, that came up with the idea. They called me. I said, you know what? That's a wonderful idea. Let's do that. So they'll know what TSTA is all about. It's about giving to our children, and also to Santa, our treasurer. She writes the checks, so she's responsible. And also, my amigo aquí, Mr. Lalo, he's also a teacher también at the elementary level. And having said that, on another issue, I wanted to also mention, and this is so important, very, very important. I think this year we need to start marketing Laredo ISD, because the private schools are doing a great job in the media trying to take away our students. And they are taking a lot of our students, and it's getting worse every year. So I think, and this is my own professional opinion, I think that we need to start marketing Laredo Independent School District and all the public schools, but all around Texas. And I asked our attorneys to do some research, and it's a fact, and I can get you that information. There is no research-based evidence, because I had our attorneys research, that states that private schools perform better than public schools. Not true at all. And if you don't believe me, look for yourself. There's nothing there that proves that. So again, I think we need to market really strong like never before. Before, we never had this kind of competition. Now we got competition, so we need to market. And having said that, you all are a wonderful school board, and we made a little poster and we brought some students, so we're here to help, and anything we can do to help the students, we're here for you all. Thank you very much, and thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Picture.
Lalo?
Didn't the committee meetings report go before board communication? No. Committee? Yeah, board communication goes first. I thought it was the other way around.
No, we say what we do.
After we do the reports. Yeah. So I'm gonna do it that way.
Cheese.
No, you. On the. I'm gonna
Thank
do the
you.
report first. Committee report. Thank you very much. Who else do you have?
Good job, TSTA. Mr. Raul Ramirez Jr.
Hello, my name is Raul Ramirez Jr. for the record, and I am a teacher at Laredo Elementary. This is my I'm going into my 25th year, and basically I just felt like I wanted to speak on the Ligarde-Caguas consolidation issue. Basically, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't say what I wanted to say, and because I feel like I'm a part of that community, and the community is a part of me. So I'm gonna just read something that I wrote here, and frankly, I simply see a school at 1,300 or a similar number being too big. Before it's misconstrued or wrongly insinuated, I'm not scared of that number, nor is anyone else on my campus scared of that number. Not the teachers, not the staff, not the principal. However, it is just common sense that you can better address issues that come up and give each student more attention when schools are smaller, and that we're already pretty big. It has been brought up that Ryan is large and doing fine. Well, this school would still have approximately 300 more students than Ryan. If you think Ryan is large, then that would make the proposed school extra large. I looked at enrollment at UISD and LISD schools, and this would be the largest school in Laredo. I could only find two that were over 1,000 students, but this merged school would have about 200 more students than those schools. UISD is also still building new elementary schools, so that their numbers are going to be reduced. Another point, research shows a negative effect on academic achievement, attendance, and discipline when students attend larger schools. Students from low socioeconomic areas are particularly affected. We are in a low socioeconomic area. If you truly care about reading and math, then smaller is better. Another point, participation in extracurricular activities is negatively affected. There is a strong association between involvement in extracurricular activities and improved attendance, behavior, and academic performance. If they don't get that chance in middle school and high school, then it makes it even more important for them to participate in those activities in elementary school. Another point, as far as Ligarde being on a floodplain, well, in 24 years of working there, I've never had any problems going to and from the school, so I don't really see that as an issue. Another point, as far as Ligarde having traffic problems, there in the morning I see traffic, but in the afternoon it's as best handled as I've ever seen it. Besides, doesn't everybody have traffic? And when you put our traffic together with Caguas over there, there's still going to be traffic. So I don't really, and I would put education over traffic any day. Another point, if enrollment in the South does indeed go down, wouldn't Ligarde be better suited to deal with it due to the way it's built? Since we have separate wings, if enrollment does go down, you could close a wing. If not, we can keep it open while the other school would just have empty classrooms. Another point, as far as doing it to save money for the district, I don't think it should be incumbent upon this community to take the burden of the whole district. Every other school has gotten or is getting what was promised and voted for in the bond election. Why should this area be different? How can this community trust that everything that is promised in the merged school will become a reality when what was voted on is already being taken back? If we truly are a Laredo ISD team, then every community should share the burden equally. I also question where the supposed savings are to be used eventually. Another point, I find it curious that parental input was not solicited regarding this consolidation, even though the education of their children is affected. Frankly, I don't think anybody wants this. Caguas parents won't want it because we are taking more space from their children and adding more traffic to them. Ligarde parents won't want it because it's farther. I think they both won't want it even more when they find out you're asking them to trade the conditions that better foster learning for what appears to be basically a larger patch of grass. In the end, I just want to make sure that the promise of having state-of-the-art facilities is not a shiny object that blinds us from seeing the negative effects created by having a school that large. Make sure that you have really thought of all the circumstances that will arise, because sometimes lo barato sale caro. The price that is paid is not always monetary in nature. Each dollar you save today might be paid by the students tomorrow, with a negative effect on their learning. I ask you to do what is the best for the students educationally and vote to keep Ligarde Elementary and Caguas Elementary as two separate schools. I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Bali? I'm going to go to community report first. Committee report first. Yeah, we need to change that on our thing is backwards. Committees, go ahead.
The Compliance and School Safety Committee met on July 15, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. We were presented with an update on the district employee handbook for this new school year, which is finalized. We also talked about the teacher certification and staffing. We had an update. We know that teachers have a maximum of 5 attempts on the exam. Teachers must attempt at least the exam at least once per year. However, the concern of the board is that we're allowing uncertified bilingual teachers in the classrooms. We were told, though, that these teachers are certified in their content areas. It's just the bilingual certification that they're missing. As far as the 425 disciplinary action report, in general, the district has seen a decrease on the incidents reported and a decrease on the out-of-school suspensions. The decrease has been for several reasons, such as more enforcement at some of the schools. There have been some recoding of the violations and doing more in-school suspensions as opposed to out-of-school suspensions to avoid the students going home and receiving no education at all. As far as the annual attendance, we covered the stats for the 6th 6 weeks average daily attendance, the perfect attendance, and the attendance for the school year. This school year, there was an increase in flu-related absences, which affected our stats. As far as the credit appeals, the board would like to see some improvement on the process for the credit appeals and more for all the high schools to have the same process. We discussed the memorandum of understanding between LISD and JAAUP. We discussed a proposed memorandum of understanding for $50,000. The trend is to decrease the number of students sent and to use the other $50,000 to try to help our students inside the district before sending them. The reason is because the board is concerned with JAP not helping our students academically. The students usually come with no credits from JAP. The student insurance for 2019-2020, we discussed the renewal of the student insurance for the new school year. We did ask for an update regarding any discounts that the district could get based on the equipment that we have purchased for our students. We have a new initiative, the LISD Wellness Program. This is an employee wellness program. Blue Cross Blue Shield will reimburse the district for up to $75,000 for things such as biometric screening tests, flu shots, on-site fitness equipment, health education classes, and many other things. So we're trying to take advantage of this to help our employees. And we also talked about the law attendant waivers request for some of our campuses that were affected by the May 3rd, 2019 thunderstorm. So that's basically a short summary of what we cover.
Thank you very much. Mr. Garza?
Yes, sir. Student Services Committee. Well, first, we did not have an IT committee meeting this month. The Student Services, we were given a great report on the parental involvement numbers at LISD. We are improving at every level. We certainly need, but that doesn't mean we don't need any more work. So we are working on that. Ms. Pat Campos has a great idea and a great game plan for the upcoming year. We were also given a great report by our counseling department on the number of the graduation rates and the number of scholarships given. What was interesting about that report was that we may have found a way to measure success rates at that department. More research is going to be done by our director, Ms. Rosina Silva, and we're looking forward to that. There may have been There is a way to measure all this success, and we're looking forward to it, and the research is being done by Mrs. Rosina Silva. Thank you so much for that report, Rosina. It was excellent, very well done. In our athletic department, just to show and to report to the citizens of this community, our great football teams are coming for their games around the corner. We were introduced to the new football helmets, which actually have sensors inside that gives the data, more and more data, to help in the safety of that program. The athletic department is always staying one step ahead for safety reasons, and rightfully so. The other item as part of their agenda is they introduced the Core 1 initiative. In this manner, these kids or all of the athletes at LISD will be able to monitor their success academically on a 6-week basis, and they will be classified as to given a snapshot of those grades at that point, whether they apply for Division I, Division II, or Division III. We're trying to platform or create a connection between Skyward program and this program so that parents and athletes can be ahead of the game when putting their academic success together with their athletic success, and see if we can get more people going to get athletic scholarships. That is all.
Ms. Ramirez?
The Curriculum and Instruction meeting, committee meeting took place on Wednesday, July 17th at 5:30 here in the boardroom. And we began by discussing the results for the STAR exams. We also discussed the results for the TPRIs and the Rigby reading programs for the primary grades, and the impact that the scores on those tests had on the daily programming of what the principals and the teachers were doing in the context of their daily teaching. We had a very healthy discussion about the grades and what we were using or how we were using the results of the TPRI and the Rigby program. We also discussed the possibility of engaging Rigby and their consulting staff to come back and possibly retrain some of our elementary teachers in Rigby. We have a lot of new teachers that weren't originally trained in Rigby, and maybe we need to go back and reconsider that. And the same goes for TPRI. We also discussed the Communities in Schools program and how some principals were still interested in getting in on that contract for communities in schools, and the possibility of maybe getting more schools involved in that program. We know that it's a success. We also had a healthy discussion about the possibility of that. In discussing the curriculum writing that took place over the summer, we got a good report from Dr. Cruz about the teachers that were contracted over the summer to do curriculum writing so that we could be prepared for the fall semester. And I believe that those teachers who did give up their summer and worked with Dr. Cruz and his staff deserve a resounding round of applause, because they worked all summer, and all of the curriculum writing was completed on time and on task, and therefore everybody will have their new curriculums ready for when school starts. We also discussed the JJAEP program. I'm sorry, the glasses would help. The Jobs and Education for Texas grant that we received, and we did discuss the JJAEP and whether or not EP, right, or AP. Whether or not we were going to continue to contract them, and the discussion revolved around, yes, that we would continue to work with them, and that we would continue to try to minimize the number of students that we were going to send, but at the same time have it available, and Mr. Perez gave us a good report on that as well. In addition, we discussed at the secondary level with the secondary departments about TSI and what we're going to do as a district to get more of our students tested on TSI and prepared to be successful on TSI, and how we could work together on getting the students also more prepared for either SAT or ACT, along with all of the standardized testing. In addition, we had some discussions about some of the programs that we're using and licensings that we're going to need to agree upon today. Some of those being the Texas Curriculum Management Program cooperative that we have with Region 1. We talked about the data management for assessment of curriculum, licensing agreement, the library books and media and instructional materials that we need to consider. We had a healthy discussion about accelerated readers and what we need to purchase for that. The Region 1 Service Center Library Services and Media Cooperative that we have. And these are programs that we are working with in conjunction with Region 1 and some of the external providers that we have. We did discuss an agreement that we have with ACT and the cost, and staff was going to look into the possibility of for what we're paying for ACT exams and them using our facilities, if we could somehow work out a deal where they might be able to give us, a better deal than what we were considering because they use our facilities. We also talked about the College Board Readiness and Success Contract, and so working with the College Board and ACT together, I think we can provide some strong support for our students and get them ready for the next part of their lives as they graduate from our schools. And lastly, we talked about supplemental handwriting. For those of you that are not aware, handwriting is back at the elementary schools. And so we discussed handwriting and spelling instructional materials for K-5. For those of you that employ people who can't write cursive like I do, it's kind of distressing when you tell people to sign their names and they write it in print. There's no signature. And so, handwriting is back from the state, and we also know that we have the state adoption contracts coming up, and so all of these things were discussed at curriculum and instruction. Thank you to staff. It was my first curriculum and instruction meeting. I appreciate all the help from everyone. Thank you, Dr. Diaz.
Thank you for your leadership.
Mr. Garcia.
Board communication, you want to start this? Mr. Valdez, do you have anything to say?
I'm at peace today.
Thank you. It's a miracle. That's why it's storming outside. Ms. Bali?
Welcome, everybody. We're still in summer, but everybody kind of took some vacation already, so we're thrilled to start the new school year, planning for everything that we have ahead of us and to prepare our students even better than last year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Garza?
Good. Last month, Mr. Garcia opened my eyes to a couple of things, and not in a good way. Every year, in the past 8 years, every summer, I recommend some summer reading for everybody. And he turned around and told me, why are you recommending it? Nobody reads. And that was kind of...
no, I said nobody reads your books.
And so this year, I said, well, I'm going to recommend a couple of things. And I said, if you're not going to read, at least watch the documentary, The Art of Thinking. I think for everybody that's out there that relies on, especially high school teachers, on the SATs test and all that kind of garbage that's out there, I know that we're against it in a lot of ways, but it opens your eyes on how to do something else. And it certainly did for me. The other thing that I try to do for the last 8 years is only try to send you something to read that might open your minds and to not being stuck in a square or inside a box, and to try and think outside the box. Because that's the only way that I figure 4,500 employees can take the school district to the next level. If we continue to do the same thing over and over every year, we're going to say we've stagnated in some cases, but we've never moved forward the way that we're supposed to. And we have over the past several years. But the whole idea is that in some campuses, some people get stuck in the rut and over again. You get a chance to do it. It's an oldie but a goodie. Gladwell's The Tipping Point is a good one. And finally, because I didn't have anything else to offer, I went back to some old school reading. I'm almost done with it. I'm recommending Ernest Hemingway's For Whom Bell Tolls. I realized that when one of my heroes, Senator McCain, passed away, that was his favorite book. And rightfully so. It opened my eyes. I can't believe I didn't read it in college. So those are 3 things. Hopefully you all get inspired by some of the things that you read and that you hear about with this, so that you can come back nicely refreshed and charged up in August to do better. Thank you.
Mr. Noyola.
I just like to thank all administrators for your dedication and hard work this summer. The future for 2019, 2020 looks very bright. Thank you.
Dr. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia, and thank you to the board members, and to all of you who have worked all summer getting your schools ready. This morning I toured Heights Elementary. It was astounding to see how many teachers are already at work, and so I want to give a shout out to them, and congratulations to all the staff, like I said earlier, that worked all summer on this curriculum writing project. I know it was a huge endeavor for them. And they've done a fine job. In hearing from some of the people that did work on that, they're very excited. I also want to congratulate. We got a chance to meet with the coaches, all of the athletic department, and all of the coaches at the committee meeting. And they're all very excited about the new year, and I want to wish them all good luck, and to the principals of the high schools and middle schools and all of their teams and all of the kids that are already out there working and playing and getting ready physically. I see the kids from Lamar running in the neighborhood on their own by themselves. They're excited about the new year, and so there's nothing like the first day of school in the fall semester and what it smells like and what it feels like to get into the classroom. I know, Mr. Garcia, hold on.
No, I'm not saying
No.
you're right.
Oh. I too want to echo what Mr. Garza said, but I have another book that I strongly recommend. It's called iGen by Dr. Jean Twenge, Twenge, and it talks about the different kind of student that we're getting in our schools today. Sometimes they're referred to as Generation Z, but for the most part, they're being called iGeners. And it's a very different kind of student that we're going to be seeing start in our schools today. It's an incredible book. I'm almost done with it, but when I started reading it, I was kind of taken aback by the title. But as I got into it and I started to read more, I realized that even some of our millennials who we've titled millennials are really not millennials. They're iGeners. And very interesting for us as educators, as we see these kids coming through our doors every single day, their expectations change. And so as administrators, as teachers, and working with those kids every single day, their expectations sometimes are not in line and in focus with what we think they want or they understand. There is a communication gap. There is a gap in beliefs. And as Mr. Garza said, we're going old school, I guess. But I wish you all the best of luck. Good luck to everyone, and congratulations for all of the hard work you've done. I also want to take a moment to thank the budget people, because they've been working all summer with the state legislature, finishing up late. And Flor, thank you very much, and to all of your team, because I know that you put in a lot of hours to get us the budgets that we needed on time to try to make some decisions. So we really appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Monica?
I just want to welcome everybody back to the 2019-2020 school year. I outpour you with many excellence and success for all of our students, and hoping for a wonderful year. Also want to take this time to congratulate, Maggie's team, which consists of Rosina Silva, which did reach out to Laredo Federal Credit Union. They did have, a big loss in their department, and they were there to assist them in the grieving process. We're there to be able to help them deal with the situation at hand. So with that being said, I just want to make sure that, Maggie, please let all your counselors know that we do appreciate, everything they do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and just welcome everybody back. We're excited as more information comes in, and we're ready to give out scores and different things that we did in the past. We're very proud of our school district and all the work that you've all done, and we look forward to another great year. As I'd like to echo what Dr. Ramirez said about Ms. Flor, your office, and you know what, I know we've been numbered, I know sat with you all right now for about an hour. We talked about a lot of things, and that's been all summer long on what's the best thing we can do for our administration and our teachers, and I think that we've done an outstanding job. But we're not doing it because we owe it to you. We're doing it because you've earned it. And our scores show it, and I just want to let everybody know we do appreciate everything, and we do listen. We're looking at a bigger picture than sometimes that you all see. We're looking outside the box, and we're trying to gather as much information that we can to make a decision that's best for our district. And sometimes, like anything else, you might not like it at the very beginning, but at the very end, 99.9, it works. And that's why we gather as much information as we can. So as that, I wish everybody a great year. I know cross country is coming up, football's coming up, the band competition, volleyball. I know that the coaches have been working already since Monday, right? And I know that they're going to have a big meeting on Monday of next week. And just wish everybody the best of luck, and we're here to help everybody out as much as we can. And going with that, Dr. Rios, number 1. Oh, before we go to that, I make a motion to bring up item number 26, 27, and 32.
So moved.
There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Dr. Rios?
Okay. Item number 26 reads, discussion and presentation on the 2019-2020 budget update. As Mr. Garcia and all of the trustees have been discussing, there's been quite a lot of studying going on in regards to our finances. You know that we were on a short year because we wanted to change the fiscal year so that we could begin on July 1, so that way resources would become more available for our students and as well as for our staff. So one of the things that happened was that the board approved the budget on the last week of June. And because of that, we also, and Mr. Garcia talked about that in that meeting, that as more information became available to us, that we were going to revisit certain points about financing. And so Ms. Ayala is going to talk a little bit about some of these changes very briefly, because we want to talk about the impact that our studying has revealed to us. Ms. Ayala?
Thank you, Dr. Rios. Under House Bill 3, there's a new requirement that tells us that every time there's an increase in the basic allotment, 30% of that increase needs to be dedicated to employee compensation. 75% of that needs to go to the teachers, and those under the minimum salary schedule, under the teacher's salary schedule, and 25% to all others except administrators. So the state provided us guidance, and here you see it in steps 1, 2, 3, 4. And please note at the very bottom that the increases are not computing by multiplying the basic allotment by the 30%. TEA is providing us the guidance that is telling us how to compute, and when we provided the first estimate, we used that process. So over here in the chart, in the middle column, that was our first estimate, where we provided those increases, honoring the floor, the 2.9 for teachers and all others in the bottom. We exceeded those floors when we provided the first recommendation for the adjustment to the minimum salary schedule, for the teacher salary schedule here in LISD. We got additional information, and we recomputed, we recalculated, and you'll see over here in the last column, those are the latest number providing us additional funding. And so now the floor, we have to recalculate the floor, and you see now the 75 is at 3.7, and the 25% is 1.2. So that provided additional capacity for us to consider and to provide more of an incentive and to modify our teacher salary schedule. So every time the basic allotment increases, the minimum salary schedule that TA presents that all districts should follow increases at the same time. So as an example, here you see the orange dotted line. That was the pre-House Bill state minimum salary schedule. After House Bill 3, because the basic allotment increase, and that's linked to the salary minimum schedule, you'll see it right here. So districts cannot offer less than what it's there, but they can always offer more. So if you look at the broken green line, this is what the board approved June the 10th as the new salary schedule for teachers. But now, due to that calculation, we are recommending $1,200 more. So if you look at the bottom, anyone with 6+ experienced teachers, and that's excluding TRS and health benefits, will receive about $4,000. The increase in the health benefit that the board had approved, it's a little over $1,000, so that makes the total compensation package over $5,000.
And before you leave that slide, one of the things that I do want to make note of here to everybody, if you look at the green solid line on the top, that is, if you look at the difference between the green solid line and the red dotted line, that is just pointing out how much the district is invested in our teachers. Because we really believe, and as Mr. Garcia has said, that the salary increases that our staff are getting are deserved. And so look at the gap between what is required, which is the orange line, and what the district is willing to propose, and at the same time, we're hoping for an approval from the district, from our trustees. So this is really important to us as educators. We're teachers too. I'm very happy that our board is considering this, and again, this is something that is a proposal. Next.
Yeah, I just want to also hit that if you see the orange line, that's what the state is recommending. If you see the green line, the dotted green line that goes across, that's what our last proposal was way above what the state is recommending. But I think we're healthy enough to be able to do this. I know Mr. Valdez had brought it up to look into it. We looked into a lot of the things, and we're able to do that. So by saying that, do we have anything else on this report before we go to number?
So, yes, what we need to do next, right, we need to go to agenda item 27 and consider the teacher salary schedule, the proposed one, and then go to item 32 to approve the amendment associated, linked to that.
So, the number 27?
So, item number 27 reads, I'll get there, sorry. Item 27, discussion and possible action to approve a revised 2019-2020 teacher salary schedule to reflect an additional increase of $1,200 per step. And I know that Mrs. Ramirez is here, and I will tell you that this did take a lot of studying and researching and wanting to make sure that there was an equalization of all pay steps, because some of the pay steps were out of whack since it'd been a while. So, Ms. Ramirez, I don't know if you want to expand on that?
Would you please, before we take a vote?
Yes, sir. If you look in your packet in the purple file folder, there is a copy of the proposed 2019-2020 teacher salary schedule reflecting the increases and the equalization. So the year 0 teachers will be starting at $50,950, year 1, $51,800, year 2, $52,500, year 3, $54,100, year 5, $55,850, and so on. So this new salary schedule will be posted, and this will, once approved, will be disseminated on our website.
And so this is what our trustees have to approve. The salary schedule has to be approved so that then it can be used in our budget process. And I don't know if you want to say anything else, Ms. Ayala. So really what's the approval is not necessarily the 1,200, but it is the revised salary schedule as well as the 1,200.
Right, because the 12, yeah. Mr. Noyola?
Are there any increases for administrators and paraprofessionals?
And no, sir. Aside from what was previously approved at the 5% and 6%, no.
It's only for teachers.
It's only for teachers, librarians, and nurses, the people that fall on the.
Yeah, I think we were very generous to the administration and to paraprofessionals. We went from 5 to 6. This is what was sent to us from Austin to be able to get where we're at right now. So it's fair, I think, all the way through. So I call for a
move for
motion.
approving.
I second the motion.
So the motion, there's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you to staff for putting all of this together for us.
Well deserved.
On the last item,
And
item
number
32.
May I proceed?
Yes.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action on the following budget amendment. BA number 1920-02, discussion and possible action to approve the general operating fund budget amendment in the amount of $3,599,954 to appropriate foundation revenue based on the Texas Education Agency updates to compensatory education allotment calculation to fund the proposed additional $1,200 increase in teacher salary based on guidance from TEA and TRS, and to fund additional extra duty needed to be in compliance with the minimum required expenditure for the state compensatory education program.
I so
move to approve.
Second.
Motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you. Also, I wanna remove 5A and 5C from
5P.
5 what?
5 5P, like in pet.
Oh, 5P, and move it to the regular agenda.
So move.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, now we go back to number one.
Okay, item number one, Dr. Ramirez gave a very good summary about what happened at the instructional committee meeting. I do want to add that it was a good meeting because we were able to, well, and I will tell you this about our staff, as well as campus principals, campus teachers. Since school ended, there has been an extensive analysis of where we are and where we need to be. And I do want to say that in the reading diagnostic programs, which happen to be TPRI, RIGB, and all of that, we did increase by 1 point, but what we also noticed that there were several decreases, and at the same time we noticed which were the schools and which were the skills that needed to be acted upon and that needed to be addressed. And I will tell you, here our audience as well as the trustees, that plans have already been put in place. In fact, there's been quite a big deal about, well, that's such a terrible way to say this, but there's been a good plan into being able to disaggregate the data even more, go down to the teacher level, to the student level, and to what is it that's happening at the curriculum level. With that being said, I do want to tell the trustees that the curriculum writing guides, the curriculum guides there's going to be a short little video at our next meeting so that you can see how extensive this work has been. I've gone to those trainings. It's wonderful. If there's anyone here who's a writer, thank you so much for being part of this writing experience. I know that the trustees have really invested in this particular project, and it's going to continue at the end of every year. Any changes in our TEKS, in our assessment, in any of the instructional mandates from the state, that is going to be happening. So we're very, very proud of the work that has been done. Thank you so much, and that's going to continue. As far as the results for STAR in grades 3 through 8, we also talked about that, and at district level, there was an increase in every content area. We are awaiting the scores the ratings as we move forward, and we are looking forward to a great year with renewed energy, renewed enthusiasm, and we want to move forward to make this district even greater than it is. Mr. Garcia?
Thank you very much.
I have just a reminder, please, Mr. Garcia, to Dr. Rios and staff. I do think we need to bring back some of the training for the new teachers.
Yes, that's already been planned.
Okay, great.
In fact, even before we had committee meeting, we had already looked at what areas needed to be emphasized in the retraining for brand new teachers. And in fact, we've set up some mentorships. Good. And we've set up our reading curriculum people. There's some of them are here. We're talking about what is it that needs to happen, and I can tell you that there's some reorganization. They are going to be specific about what grades they're going to be addressing, and the accountability is going to go all the way from the student to the teacher, to the campus admin, as well as to our central office admin. So you are going to see some positive changes as we move forward, and as we learn more about the assessment piece and the diagnostics, because that's what the diagnostics do.
I think that in talking to some of the principals, I think they're worried that maybe it's not so much the instruction, it's that the teachers haven't been trained to use some of the tools that we have because they're new teachers.
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck out of the programs that we have in place and training our teachers well enough to use them. So,
and that is a point that we're really critically looking at. I also think that the emphasis this year was 3, 4, and 5, grades 3, 4, and 5, grades 3, 4, and 5, and we can't let go of grades of all the pre-K, K, and 1, obviously, because that is the foundation. We do have a goal, and that goal, as Mr. Garcia is witness and everyone here, we want all students to be reading on grade level by third grade. And that has been something that since I've been here, we've been talking about, and we've reached that goal in quite a few ways, but we can't wait till third grade till it happens. It really has to happen very, very early on. And so some of the diagnostics as well as the reporting indicates that, and so we're going back and we promise you that that is going to be
Thank you.
a focus.
Thank you. A motion to approve number 2A, B, and C. Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? A motion to approve the minutes from the special call meeting on
So
June
moved.
10th.
Second.
Regular meeting June 11th, and the special call meeting June 27th. The motion to the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to accept number 1, but there's an adjustment to it. Mr. Noyola be giving $4,560 to Memorial, $4,997 to Christian, and $2,960 to Martin High School, for a total of $12,517 plus that $15,270, so it's going to be $27,787.
Josie, mine was already in there, right?
Yes. Where are we?
Carver? All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a motion with that adjustment.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Second. Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion to accept 5B. 5C. 5D. 5E. 5F. 5G. 5H. 5H. 5I. 5J, 5K, 5L, 5M, 5N, 5O.
So moved.
Motion?
I'll second
There's
that.
a second. All those in favor?
I just have a question on 5C, Mr. Garcia.
Okay, question before we take the vote? Go ahead.
Regarding the student insurance, we had asked that to check on any discounts that we could possibly get regarding, because of the equipment that we got for our athletes, the new, do we
He asked
have?
that to come back to us at this meeting with the information. And Dr. Ramirez also asked if, what was the question that you told
Covers
us?
prior
Incidents, all that we're going to bring it to us. We haven't seen it. Do you have a report on that for us, please, before we vote?
Good evening, Victor Mora, Director for the record. I had a conversation with Mr. Robert Laurel and Mr. David Cates, from the student brokerage store. They both assured me that there is no cap on the amount of students that are covered under our student UIL program for our protection of our students if there is an injury. The answer of the pre-existing condition, re-injury, is more of a proper term for our athletes, and they are covered for any student who has an injury or is re-injured. So they will not be denied protection. On the issue of the insurance for the equipment, I not had a chance to discuss that with Mr. David Cates, but I will.
Okay.
Just as I mentioned at that meeting,
Mr. Gaston?
please have everybody understand the difference between this insurance and their personal school, the other school, our medical insurance for the school district.
Yes, sir.
It happened to me, and I'm sure if it happened to me, it's happening to a lot of people. Instead of them, the emergency room tapping into this insurance or tapping into our personal insurance. So it's something to look at.
Yes, sir, we will.
Answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you. On consent agenda, a motion to accept 7, 8,
What about number 6, sir? Did we do number 6?
why this, you recommending the tax refund? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, we recommend approval.
Motion to accept the tax, motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to accept 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19.
So moved.
Second that.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you. Before we go to 20, do we want to do 5A and 5B? Part of that, 5A and 5P? Ms. Ayala?
Yes, under 5A, it's request for proposal RFP number 19-021. This is for copy equipment. The evaluation committee recommends Toshiba Business Solutions for an estimated amount of $1,752,606, which represents the best value to the district. However, we did put there an additional disclosure that the cost to purchase the copiers, it's $2 million, and if we were to compare the same time period, there's about a $400,000 savings purchasing versus leasing.
So a motion to accept as recommended by him instead of leasing because of the savings. So the motion?
So moved.
So the second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? 5P?
Under 5P, by board co-op number, contract number 583-19. This is for the scoreboard equipment and maintenance. The evaluation committee recommends electronics for an estimated amount of $85,000. Minor correction on the funding source. The funding source is fund number 488, not 181.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Thank you.
Item number 20.
Number 20?
Item number 20, discussion and possible action to call for the naming of facilities as provided in Board Policy CW Local, naming facilities. Mr. Garcia?
This is just out there. I know that a board member asked me about it. There's some facilities, if you need a list, please send us one. And any recommendation, you know what, you can recommend one person for a particular building, send the information on that person to Josie, and then we'll compile it, and the committee will meet to either approve or deny, and we'll bring it at the next meeting.
Very good.
All right, next, number 22. Number 22,
item 21.
number 22 and number 23. I'd like to make a motion to table,
Number 21.
Where, okay, number 21, go ahead.
Okay. Item number 21, discussion and possible action to approve changes to the following LISD board policies: BBG local, board members' compensation and expenses, and DEE local, compensation and benefits, employee reimbursement. These two are being brought up because it's been a while since they have been revised, and so we submitted them to you for approval with the revised language.
So move.
There's a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? No. Number 22 and number 3, I want to table indefinitely. After the information, I know there's false information that the school is going to be 1,300. It's not 1,300. It's less than 1,000. But the information is going back and forth. I am asking for a workshop to bring the drawings. I know, Mr. God, we have you all over the place. Bring the drawing for Caguas. Ligardo is not going to be built for another 3 years. Bring us to that so we can approve it at that workshop. And Mr. Velasquez, the plan on the movement of students, how we're going to do that. We want to compile all that, finish it up in October. I know Monica has had a lot of concern about it. Again, we asked for all this information to make an educated decision. And after getting all the information and looking at the school and looking at the side, there was a lot of things. Dr. Ramirez brought some issues up of the size of the school. Talked to Dr. Moreno. There was information going back and forth that was not right. It wasn't 1,300. It was 900. But so we don't have to go through all this. It's very crucial for stability in the South, as the young man mentioned. And we see that, but we're not going to be able to make a decision until we have enough evidence in front of us to make that decision. I think after looking at that, after doing some study, after the board member from that area coming out with some information that we weren't aware of, I think the best thing for this board to go forward is let's get the other school started right now, and then plan what we need to do legally when the time has come to do that. And I think that'd be the best thing to do. So I call to table these two and to call for a workshop to get the other school going, and a plan on moving them. That's
Okay,
my
so
motion.
move for discussion.
The motion to the second. All those in favor?
And discuss something for.
Against? Go ahead.
I just want to take this time to thank our board president for taking this initiative into tabling this item, because it is important that we come up with this workshop like he just mentioned. But when this workshop comes into place, what I really urge, administration, please bring your A game, because we are going to be requiring a lot of questions, and we are going to be requiring a lot of information. So just be prepared, because the questions are going to be going on and off, because we really need to make, like he just mentioned, a very educated vote to make sure that, what we're doing for the schools in South Laredo is what's best for the education for our children. So with that being said, I thank, my board president and my colleagues for, looking at the vision of how we want to place Laredo Independent School District for tomorrow and maybe for 2050. God knows. So with that being said, I so move to approve the tabling of the item.
Yeah, we voted on it. Thank you very much. And, yeah, she did have a lot of concern about it, but she was patient with us on gathering the information that we needed to make that decision. And I think after looking at that, we made the decision that's going to best benefit everybody.
So, Mr. Garcia, I'm so sorry.
Mr. Valdez.
Yes, you forgot, not forgot, but I think we should also include some hearings over there for the parents that have to take their children to school. And again,
That was one of the things that we looked at, and Mr. Rangel, because of the transportation, all that, it wasn't going to work. It was going to come out of our pocket. So we save one way, we're going to spend it another way. So looking at all that thing, it wasn't going to be to our.
So the workshop, just to summarize, the workshop will be about Caguas and the design.
The workshop will be about Caguas, the plan for Caguas, the site. I know he had already a drawing on that. And again, thank you very much for giving us that information. We needed that. But make sure that the plan that the principal wants for his school is set, ready to approve, that if we can approve that particular day, and the plan on how we're going to
move the students.
Right, move the students on all that. That's not going to affect the stars.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have the same architect for both Ligarde and Caguas?
No.
We don't, to my understanding, we don't have an
It
architect
doesn't go out
yet.
for bid for another year or two.
Because it's in phase 2.
It's in phase 2.
May I proceed?
Please.
Item number 24, discussion and possible action to approve the Nixon High School JROTC and vocational buildings redesign project options, including the selection of one of the proposed options. Mr. Velasquez?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Rios. Just to remind everybody, we have option 1, that is basically to have all the facilities on the northeast corner of the campus. And option number 2 is basically just to keep the ROTC at the current location. So we are recommending, based on the feedback that we received from the board, we are recommending option 1, that is to keep.
To the motion? Second. All those
On the Nixon one?
Yeah,
Yes.
option, he's recommending option 2.
Option 2, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Option 2 or option, you said option 1.
On the presentation, I believe I asked Mr. Cavazos, I believe it was labeled as option 1. However, that's the option where all the 3 facilities are going to be consolidated on the northeast corner.
Okay, so
That's the one we want.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And it's beautiful design, so thank you very much. Hopefully you got the 2.
On the northeast corner
That is correct.
of the campus,
Yes, of the
inside
campus.
the fencing. Yes.
Correct.
Perfect.
To the motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Mr. Velasquez, you get us a timeline on everything for the workshop on all our
Yes.
projects, so where we know where we're at. Thank
Definitely.
And so do you want that very quickly, right?
Memo.
Yes.
Pretty
you. Yeah, we
soon?
want the workshop very quickly because we need to get that other school going.
Okay. May I
28?
proceed?
And wait, question. You asked for an update also at the workshop for all of the current
Yeah,
construction projects, right? Okay. Thank you.
thank you. Motion, number 28, Mr.
25.
Garza?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to, I want to thank Memo for
Yeah.
being patient with the whole process. I know that sometimes, huh? Well, no, sometimes we think that, but, there's a certain system that, and there's a certain flow that architects and everybody goes through when they're doing this project. And a lot of times there's a lot of when you put the brakes on all that work, it not only costs us, it costs them, so that.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, appreciate
So-
you.
And the
I
thing,
appreciate
Memo,
it.
You know what, I really appreciate the work that he does. It's clean, it's like we can understand it, and the final product, look at Nixon. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
Means
you,
a lot.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I wouldn't let anybody work on my alma mater, really. Number 28,
No, number 25, sir.
number 25?
Yes.
I thought we already did that one.
Number 25, discussion and possible action to approve the request for additional FTEs for the 2019-2020 school year. These include 6 FTEs for special education teachers, 1 FTE for the orchestra assistant director, 2 FTEs for CTE teachers for Cigarroa Middle and Lamar Middle, and 1 FTE Spanish for NHS. As we've been looking at the numbers of students that have been identified for each of these particular classes, we feel that there is a need, and so we would like to recommend these
I so move to
pending
approve.
budget amendments.
The only thing I have a question is did you make sure that in the teachers that we have, because some of these campuses, and we want to report that, I still believe they're overly staffed. And I still want to see master schedules and see what their thing is, what their numbers are, because I remember last year and the year before, we go and look at the master schedule, and we're able to find 3 teachers why they have 5 kids and 7 kids.
Yes.
That shouldn't happen.
make
So
sure.
you already looked at that? And
Well,
see if they
yeah,
have
as far as,
and see if they have a second degree or second certification.
Yes.
So if they're teaching English, they might have a minor in
We can
Spanish,
move
and
them
we're able
around.
to put them in there. You looked at all that?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a motion, there's a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Now 28.
Okay, the next several items are all
Executive.
requiring closed session. Discussion of number 28, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation to hire the following professional positions. Possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, CMP cost analyst, dietitian, elementary school principals, Hector J. Garcia Early College High School principal, and high school assistant principal. May I read the next one?
Please.
Item number 29, discussion and possible action regarding the potential purchase and acquisition of real property, including but not limited to 413 Clark Boulevard and 1900 Springfield. Possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 and 551.072. Number 30, discussion and possible action regarding the potential acquisition of real property for a new campus and/or location for Cigarroa Middle School and facilities. Possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 and 551.072. Mr. Garcia, number 31 is no longer, whoops. Trustees, number 31 is no longer included in this particular closed
So
session.
move to go to executive session.
Move that we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion has been made, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Time is 7:13. Un guajolote.
We're back in executive session at 7:48. No action was taken. Dr. Rios,
I'm getting there.
if I find my agenda,
Yeah, but I had written the
number 20. Oh, this
Number
is not-
28,
that's not
right?
it.
Okay, item number 28, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation to hire the following professional positions. CNP
Oh, there it is.
cost analyst. I would like to recommend Ms. Amy Cáceres.
There's a motion to,
So
there's a
moved.
recommendation, there's
So
a motion by Mr. Garza.
Second.
Second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Congratulations. Next.
For dietitian, I would like to recommend Ms. Mariela Aguilera.
The recommendation is by Dr. Rios. Motion by Monica, second by Ricky. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Any comments? Next.
For Bruni Elementary, I would like to recommend as principal Ms. Michelle Martinez.
The recommendation is Michelle Martinez. There's a motion by
Second.
Dr. Ramirez. There's a second by Mr. Garza. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you. Next. Congratulations.
For Dovalina Elementary, I would like to recommend Ms. Carla Peña.
So
There's a
moved.
recommendation. There's a motion by Dr. Ramirez. There's a second by Monica Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Next.
For the Hector J.
Is
Garcia
anybody
Early,
present of those people? No? Good.
for
Next.
the Hector J. Garcia Early College High School principal, I'd like to recommend Ms. Margarita Taboada.
I make the motion to accept Mrs. Tawada.
I second that.
Second.
There is a second by Mr. Garza and Monica. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Next.
For high school assistant principal at Cigarroa High School, I would like to recommend Ms. Elenisa Vasquez.
Recommendation, the motion by Mrs. Garcia, second by Mrs. Ramirez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Next. No action was taken on number 29. No action was taken on 30. And 31 was tabled indefinitely.
It was withdrawn by...
It was withdrawn.
Yes, correct.
So we have to vote to
Nothing.
accept the
No.
withdrawn?
No.
Communications.
Communications?
Yes, sir. The Student Athletes Leadership Conference will be held tomorrow at the TAMIU Western Hemisphere Center, Room 101, tomorrow, Wednesday, beginning at 8:30 a.m.
It's 111, not 101.
111? Okay, 111, thank you. And then tomorrow, we also have an active shooter drill tomorrow at Cigarroa Middle School, beginning at 9 and ending at approximately 11 a.m. That's at Cigarroa Middle tomorrow. We have a new Teachers Academy organized by the Human Resources Department next Monday through Friday. It'll be held at J.C. Martin Elementary School, Monday through Friday of next week, starting at 8 a.m. Then we have the Texas Workforce Commissioner will present a grant to Cigarroa High School on Thursday, August the 1st at 3 p.m. at Cigarroa High School.
3:30.
Is it 3:30? 3:30, all right. 3:30 it is. We also have the LISD Beat the Heat Summer Read at the Laredo Public Library on Friday, August the 2nd from 3 to 5 p.m.
Remind me.
We have a back-to-school health fair with Driscoll Health Plans, TAMIU, the City of Laredo, and LISD on Saturday, August the 3rd from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And then we have LISD Board Committee meetings on the week of August the 5th through the 9th. We begin with the Student Services meeting on Monday, August the 5th at 11 a.m., followed by the Compliance and Safety School Safety Committee meeting at 5:30 p.m. Then on Tuesday, August the 6th at 5:15, we have the Operations Committee meeting. And on Thursday, August the 8th, we have scheduled the Curriculum and Instruction Committee meeting at 9 a.m., followed by the Business Support Services Committee meeting at 5:30 p.m. We have our back-to-school convocation on Wednesday, August the 7th at 1:30 p.m. at the Sames Auto Arena. We have a back-to-school safety press conference on Thursday, August the 8th at Gallego Elementary at 1:30 with all local law enforcement. Meet the Teacher Night is Thursday, August the 8th from 4 to 6 p.m. at all LISD Elementary School. And we have our LISD Summer Class of 2019 graduation ceremony on Friday, August 9th at 6 p.m. at the Trevino Magnet School. And finally, we have an LISD surplus auction on Saturday, August the 10th at Capco at 11 a.m. And first day of school is Monday, August the 12th. That is all I have.
Do we?
We have leadership meeting.
No.
We have leadership next week for all of the principals, all of the staff. All of the staff next week.
Where?
On Monday and Tuesday, it will be CNI. They will be at Martin High School, but that's only for continuing on their training. Then on Wednesday is when trustees and Mr. Garcia, usually you make us a welcome back.
Send us the information, please. What do we have on the 8th besides?
We have back-to-school safety press conference at Gallego Elementary at 1:30, and we also have the Curriculum and Instruction Committee meeting at 9 a.m. and Business and Support at 5:30.
And don't we also have at Cigarroa?
But don't we have don't we have a principal, don't we have an open house in all our schools?
Meet the teacher night.
Can we move because every year we like to go to at least I do, I go to the school to talk to teachers. And we're always calling because we have a meeting to cancel that 5:30, move it to another day to give the board members the opportunity to go to their campuses and visit with so instead of the 5:30, do the 9:30 one and then move the other one to another date. Please.
Well,
work it out.
let me tell you what usually.
Work it out.
Move the business support meeting.
Yeah, the afternoon.
Oh, I thought you meant the back to school.
No. Our meetings, so we're free to go to the campuses.
Okay.
Do you have the board meeting date for August?
Yes.
It's a Thursday. Yes. Oh, Silvia Barrera reminds me that there is a coaches staff development on Monday, and that will be at the TAMIU at the Safarini Student Success Center, first floor conference room. And that starts at 8 a.m. to about 4 p.m. That's on Monday.
August 15th.
15? Anybody?
1-5.
You have anything? Is there anything else?
I think that's it, sir.
Thank you very much. Before I break, I want to wish Dr. Ramirez a happy birthday. Her birthday was July the 12th, and she turned 1 year older than me.
So she's
And happy
27?
And happy birthday to Mr. Garcia, whose birthday was July the 8th.
Each other because they forget over here. Again, thank you very much for everybody, all the work that everybody does. Thank you. I know we thanked Ms. Ayala for everything they've done. I know Bobby's been working her butt off for getting everything ready, and I know it's a lot of work. Every curriculum, everybody. Thank you for the hard work that you, assistant superintendent, athletic director, everybody. I know Veronica, the same thing, getting everything ready for the first day. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Adjourned.
That's where the pinky does get.